Stop everything you are doing right now. Close your eyes if you have to. Breathe in and listen, because what I am about to say to you is not coming from me. It is coming from somewhere far higher, far older, and far more powerful than anything in this world. Tonight, God has a warning, and that warning is about someone whose name begins with the letter J. And if you are still watching this video right now, if your thumb did not scroll away, if something inside your chest just tightened, then I need you to know, this message was not meant for the masses. This message was meant for you, chosen one. You are not sluchino guided here tonight. You were divinely pulled. And by the time this video ends, your life is going to make sense in a way it never has before. Type yes, if you feel that truth in your spirit right now. Let me speak to your soul for a moment, not your mind, not your logic, your soul. Because what God is about to reveal to you tonight, your mind will try to reject. Your flesh will try to dismiss it. But your spirit is already nodding. Your spirit is already weeping. Your spirit is already saying, finally, someone finally understands what I have been carrying. And that is exactly how you know this message is real. God does not speak to the loudest voice in the room. He speaks to the quietest heart. And if your heart has been quiet, if your prayers have been whispered through tears, then listen carefully. Because heaven is about to answer every single one of them tonight. There is a reason you are hearing this today, not yesterday, not last year, today. Because God is intentional with His timing. He is not random, He is not late, and He is definitely not early. He is exact. And the exact moment you needed to hear this is the exact moment it reached you. This is not a coincidence. This is divine orchestration. And you, chosen one, were always part of the plan. Now let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. Someone in your life whose name begins with the letter J was not placed there sluchino. They were allowed. And there is a massive difference between those two things. God allows certain people into our lives for a reason. Sometimes to teach us, sometimes to test us, sometimes to use them as instruments of refinement, so that we can become who we were truly born to be. But here is the part most people never understand. Not everyone who comes into your life is sent by God. Some are sent by the enemy, and some are sent by God on a mission to expose the enemy. And you need to know which one J was for you. Type *777 if you trust God's timing even when it does not make sense yet. Let me take you back for a moment. Think about the first time you ever met this person. Think about how it felt. Was it instant? Was it magnetic? Was it the kind of connection that felt too deep, too fast, too spiritual to be ordinary? Because that is how the enemy often operates. He does not send destruction into your life dressed as destruction. He sends it dressed as a blessing. He sends it wrapped in charm, wrapped in laughter, wrapped in words that sound like prophecy, wrapped in a presence that feels like destiny. And that is exactly what made J so dangerous. They felt like home. They felt like an answer. They felt like the missing piece you had been praying for. But chosen one, what you thought was a door was actually a test. And what you thought was a blessing was a mirror. God allowed J into your life so that you could see something about yourself that you were not ready to see before. You may have noticed, even in your earliest interactions with them, something felt slightly off. A heaviness you could not explain. A peace that would leave the moment they entered the room. A feeling in your spirit that whispered, "Be careful." And most of the time, you ignored it. You justified it. You told yourself you were overthinking. You told yourself love was worth the risk. You told yourself God would not allow someone dangerous into your life if they were not meant to be there. But chosen one, God did allow it. Not because they were good for you, but because the lesson inside the pain was something your soul desperately needed in order to wake up. Type Amen if a chill just ran through your body. This is your confirmation. Right here, right now. Because if you are still listening, if your eyes are still locked on this screen, then God is confirming something to your spirit that your mind has not caught up to yet. And what he is confirming is this. The season of J is over. The chapter is closed. The assignment they were sent to fulfill is complete. And now, God is about to expose everything they tried to hide. Every lie, every manipulation, every moment they made you feel crazy for what you clearly saw. Every tear you swallowed. Every prayer you cried alone. Every night you begged God to fix them instead of removing them. He heard all of it. He recorded all of it. And tonight, he is bringing the receipts. But before I go further, I need you to understand something deeper. This message is not just about J. This message is about you. Because the real reason God is warning you about this person is because he is preparing you for something far greater than you ever imagined. The pain you endured through J was not pointless. The betrayal was not wasted. The loneliness was not permanent. It was preparation. It was refinement. It was God stripping away everything that did not belong in your future, so that only what was truly yours could remain. Chosen one, you were never ordinary. Even when you felt invisible, even when you felt forgotten, even when you sat alone wondering why everyone else seemed to thrive, while you struggled just to breathe, you were not being punished. You were being protected. And that protection is something you will only fully understand in the season that is about to begin. Type *11111 if you are ready for what God is about to do. Let me tell you about the spiritual attacks you have been enduring. Because I promise you, they are not random either. The moment you started walking closer to God, the moment you started praying more deeply, the moment you started hearing his voice with more clarity, that is the moment the attacks intensified. That is when the anxiety hit. That is when the sleepless nights returned. That is when J came back into your thoughts, even though you had been trying to forget them. That is when fear tried to convince you that you were too broken to be used. That is when the enemy whispered, "God has forgotten about you." But chosen one, nothing could be further from the truth. The attacks got louder because you were getting closer. The enemy only fights what threatens him. And you, chosen one, are threatening his entire plan. You have always been different. You have always felt things deeper than other people. You have always noticed things others missed. You have always carried a weight in your spirit that you could not explain. And that is because you are not built for an ordinary life. You are built for a kingdom assignment. And the enemy has known this about you since the day you were born. That is why he has fought you so fiercely. That is why J was allowed in. That is why the isolation felt so heavy. That is why the doors kept closing, because the enemy was trying to delay the moment you would finally step into who you truly are. But here is the good news, and I need you to receive this with your whole chest tonight. Asterix. The delay is over. The waiting season is closing. The chapter you have been stuck in for years is about to turn. And the same God who allowed the storm is the same God who is about to walk you out of it. Nothing about your life has been accidental. Not the pain, not the waiting, not the breaking, not the rebuilding. Every single moment was part of our divine blueprint that has been written since before you took your first breath. Listen carefully, because this next part is going to hit deep. The person with the initial J that God is warning you about represents something much bigger than just one individual. In the spirit realm, the letter J often symbolizes asterisk jealousy, judgment, journey, and junction. And if you think about it, there has been a junction in your life, a moment where two paths split, a moment where you could have gone left, and God pulled you right. A moment where you almost stayed in a situation that would have destroyed you, and something inside you forced you to walk away. That something was the Holy Spirit, that something was God, and that moment was the moment he began exposing J for who they truly were. Type past yes, if you have just remembered a specific moment like that. Even in your hardest moments, God was there, when nobody called, when nobody checked on you, when you cried so hard you could not even form the words to pray. He was there. He did not abandon you. He did not forget you. He was simply waiting for the right moment to reveal what he had been doing in the silence. And tonight, that moment is now. The silence is breaking. The fog is lifting. The truth is surfacing. And you, chosen one, are about to see clearly for the first time in a very long time. Here is something I want you to sit with for a moment. The reason you felt so misunderstood around J is because they could never understand the depth of who you are. They looked at your kindness and called it weakness. They looked at your patience and called it stupidity. They looked at your silence and called it agreement. But God looked at all of those same things and called them asterisk strength. Because the world will never understand a soul that has been touched by heaven. The world will always misjudge it. The world will always try to break it. And the world will always wonder why that soul keeps getting back up. You keep getting back up because you are not yours. You were bought with a price. You were marked before you were born. You were anointed for a purpose that the enemy has tried everything to stop. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still breathing, still believing, is proof that God's hand has never left your life. Not once, not ever. Type asterisk 222 if you are ready for breakthrough. Now I want to speak to something very specific. There is a part of you that has been carrying a question you have been too afraid to ask out loud. You have been wondering, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did God let this person hurt me? Why did he let them stay as long as they did? And here is your answer. God let it happen because he was building something inside you that could only be built in the fire. He was shaping your character. He was deepening your discernment. He was teaching you how to hear his voice above every other voice. And when the lesson was complete, he began the process of removal, quietly, strategically, divinely. The same way he brought them in, he is now taking them out. And this time, They will not be allowed back. Chosen one, there is a reason you are hearing this today. Your season of confusion is ending. Your season of clarity is beginning. The dreams you buried are about to be resurrected. The purpose you questioned is about to be confirmed. The calling you ran from is about to chase you down. Because God does not give up on his assignments. And you, chosen one, are his assignment. Type *man if you refuse to give up on what God placed inside you. I need you to understand the magnitude of what is happening in the Spirit right now as you listen to these words. There are angels assigned to this very moment. There are prayers being activated in the heavenly realm that were spoken over you before you were born. There is a shift taking place in your destiny that you will not fully understand until you look back on this night, months from now, and realize this was the night everything changed. This was the night you stopped doubting. This was the night you stopped tolerating. This was the night you chose to trust the God who had been fighting for you even when you could not see him. You were never ordinary. You were never too much. You were never too sensitive. You were never too broken. You were a chosen vessel, carrying a chosen assignment, in a world that was never designed to understand you. And the people who were supposed to love you the way you deserved were never capable of holding what God placed inside you. That is why Jay left. That is why the doors closed. That is why the relationships ended. Because the people in those seats were never meant to stay for the next chapter. They were only meant to play their role and then exit the stage. And you are about to walk onto a stage that has been prepared for you since the foundation of the world. Type *777 if you feel that shift in your spirit right now. Let me tell you what is coming. Because God is not just removing, he is replacing. The loneliness is about to be replaced with a community of souls who will understand you. The betrayal is about to be replaced with loyalty that will shock you. The confusion is about to be replaced with a clarity that will feel like someone finally turned the lights on. And the purpose you have been running from is about to become the very thing you cannot stop talking about. Because when God unlocks your assignment, it becomes obsession. It becomes fire. It becomes the thing you wake up thinking about, and the thing you fall asleep dreaming about. This is your confirmation. The fact that this video was recommended to you. The fact that you almost scrolled past it. The fact that something stopped your thumb. The fact that your chest feels heavy right now. The fact that your eyes are filling with tears as you listen. That is not emotional weakness. That is spiritual recognition. Your spirit is recognizing the voice of the one who created it. And he is saying to you tonight, with a love that shakes the foundations of heaven, I have not forgotten you. I never left you. And everything I allowed was necessary to bring you to this very moment. Listen carefully, because I am about to say something that may rearrange your entire future. The person with the initial J was a lesson. The pain was a teacher. Isolation was a forge. And what is being shaped inside you right now is a weapon of light that the enemy has never seen before. You are not the victim of your story anymore. You are the author of what comes next. And what comes next is going to require every ounce of strength that God spent years building inside you through the very fire you thought was destroying you. Type *. Yes, if you are ready to walk into what God has prepared for you. Chosen one, there is one more thing I need to share with you before this message ends, and I want you to receive this with reverence. The fact that you are still here, still listening, still believing, means that you are part of a remnant that God is raising up in this very hour, a remnant that has been through the fire, a remnant that has been refined in the secret place, a remnant that has learned how to hear the voice of God above every other voice in the world. And that remnant is about to do something the enemy has been terrified of for generations. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too damaged. You are not too old. You are not too young. You are not too broken. You are exactly where God needs you to be, to do exactly what He has prepared you to do. And every tear you have ever cried, every night you ever pleaded with heaven, every moment you ever felt completely alone, was fuel being stored for a calling that is about to be activated in your life in a way that will leave no doubt in your mind that God was real, God was listening, and God was moving the entire time. Even in your hardest moments, God was writing a story you could not see yet. And tonight, you are beginning to read the pages. Type 11111 to affirm this message in your life. There is a reason you are hearing this today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, because God does not wait for our readiness. He activates our obedience. And right now, in this very moment, He is asking you to do three things. First, forgive Jay. Not for them, for you. Because unforgiveness is a chain, and you were never meant to wear chains. Second, forgive yourself. For every time you blamed yourself for how they treated you. For every time you replayed the moments, wondering what you could have done differently. You did nothing wrong. You loved with a pure heart. And that is not a weakness. That is a reflection of the God who lives inside you. Third, walk forward. Stop looking back. Stop replaying. Stop waiting for an apology that may never come. Your healing is not in their hands. It never was. It was always in His. And He is saying to you tonight, it is finished. The chapter is closed. The wound is healed. The lesson is complete. And what is next is going to be so breathtakingly beautiful that you will look back on this very night, this very video, this very moment, and you will weep with gratitude that you did not give up, that you did not walk away, that you did not let the enemy win. Nothing about your life has been accidental, not the pain, not the waiting, not the breaking, not the healing, not the isolation, not the awakening. Every single piece was woven together by a God who loves you with a love that this world will never be able to explain. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. Heaven has spoken, your spirit has heard it, and your next season begins the moment you decide to believe it. If this message reached your soul tonight, type *amount below. If you felt the presence of God while listening, type *777. If you know exactly who Jay is in your life, type. And if you are ready to walk into the destiny God has been preparing for you, type *trust. Yes, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it tonight. Because chosen one, someone you love is also carrying this same weight. And this message was meant for them too. God bless you. I will see you in the next one.